Welcome into NFL Daily. I am Will Scott. Hope you're all having a fantastic start to your weekend. We're going to get into some coaching search updates here on today's show, which is why you should go down and subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of NFL YouTube channels kind of take an off season when it is the off season. Well, we don't sleep here at Chat Sports. We're going to have you covered throughout the entire NFL off season. Free agent content, draft content. We're going to have you covered on all NFL news and rumors. So go down, subscribe to the channel. Also turn on your notifications so you know when we put out a video. We're going to go team by team here. There's now 4 vacancies at the head coaching position in the National Football League. We're going to go team by team, tell you all the candidates, tell you when they've interviewed. We're going to keep you up to date here on Chat Sports. Here are the current vacancies after the Carolina Panthers job has been filled. The Arizona Cardinals, Denver Broncos, Houston Texans, and Indianapolis Colts are the remaining head coaching vacancies. Again, Carolina has filled their position. Yesterday, I should say on Thursday, they hired former Colts head coach Frank Reich to be their new head coach. He was the quarterback for the Panthers back in '95. I think we can all agree the Colts did Frank Reich a little bit dirty, firing him mid-season. He was really, really good in Indianapolis when he didn't really have a quarterback throughout his tenure in Indy. Now he's going to Carolina, going to try to help them find their franchise quarterback, maybe C.J. Stroud in the draft. We'll have to wait and see. We'll begin with the Arizona Cardinals, who after the season fired Kliff Kingsbury after 4 seasons at the helm. Kliff right now is chilling on a beach in Thailand, so he's doing all right. The next week, they moved pretty quickly here with their GM hire. They hired GM Monti Ossenfort, who's a pretty good hire. I think we can all agree on that. A very qualified candidate that they have brought in there. And so he has been with Michael Bidwell here, kind of navigating this head coaching search. And they have put together an impressive list. Vance Joseph, Sean Payton, Brian Flores, Ejiro, Evero, Aaron Glenn, and Dan Quinn have all interviewed for that job. However, Dan Quinn, after his second interview with the Cardinals, and he was actually the first person to get a second interview in Arizona, he announced that he is going to stay in Dallas as the Cowboys defensive coordinator. Meanwhile, Sean Payton had his first interview with the Cardinals on Thursday, and that was a surprise to many that he ended up interviewing for that job, because the thinking is wherever Sean Payton goes, he's going to have kind of complete and total control, and Ossenfort is the new general manager. They kind of thought, maybe they're not going to hire Sean Payton now with Ossenfort at the helm, but Sean Payton did interview with the Cardinals on Thursday, and it does appear that the Broncos might be moving in a different direction, so maybe Payton to Arizona might make some sense at this point. Now, who are the Cardinals going to hire to be their new head coach? Go down in the comments section. Let me know who's going to be the Kliff Kingsbury replacement. I think at this point it's between Brian Flores and Vance Joseph. Sean Payton, I think that he's going to want a little bit more control than he would have in Arizona. So, yeah, he interviewed, but I don't really think he's going to be a finalist there. Brian Flores has apparently impressed, did a good job as the head coach in Miami, and now he's a strong candidate over there in Arizona. And Vance Joseph, the Cardinals defensive coordinator, well-respected in the building, really well-liked by the players. Didn't work out as the Broncos head coach a few years ago, even though he was having the time of his life, said Sergio Dip. But maybe he'll get another shot to be a head coach in the National Football League. I think either one of those hires would be really solid. So we'll see what Arizona opts to do with their head coach opening. Today's show is sponsored by Geologie, a 16-time award-winning skin, hair, and body care company recognized in Men's Health, GQ, and Esquire. Geologie creates simple and effective skincare and hair care routines customized just for you with ingredients that are proven to work. Right now, for a limited time, they are hooking you up with an absolutely insane offer. Use my code ChatSports70 at chatsports.com/Geologie and or use the QR code on screen. They're going to give you an exclusive 70% off. I repeat, 70% off their award-winning skincare trial set. Skincare shouldn't feel like a gamble, and Geologie is the best in the skincare game. Geologie puts an end to dark or puffy under eyes, helps you fight acne, reduce oiliness, prevent wrinkles, and gives you smoother, hydrated skin. I've been using Geologie's face wash in the mornings. They're dark and puffy under eye cream and their retinol eye cream before going to bed. My skin is looking and feeling great. And in the shower, Geologie body wash smells great and free of harsh ingredients and or refillable. So go to chatsports.com/Geologie or scan the QR code on screen. Use my code ChatSports70. The link is in the description and the comments of today's video. On top of that 70% off, you'll receive an exclusive bonus offer on one of their brand new skin, hair, and body products of your choice when you add it to your trial. This is one of the best offers you will see. So be sure to get it before it is gone. Chatsports.com/Geologie. Let's go to the Broncos now, who on December 28th, midseason, fired head coach Nathaniel Hackett. Kind of a train wreck season for Hackett in Denver. The Walmart ownership group certainly has money to spend. If anyone's going to give Sean Payton $20-25 million per year, it'll be them. But they have yet to schedule a second interview with any candidate. Taking a look at who was interviewed. Sean Payton, at one point, was the favorite for this job. Jim Harbaugh said he's staying in Michigan. Dan Quinn is staying in Dallas. Ejiro, Evero, the defensive coordinator, has interviewed. Whoever they bring in as the head coach, I'm assuming they want to keep Ejiro Evero around as the DC. DeMeco Ryans, Jim Caldwell, Raheem Morris, and David Shaw have all interviewed for this job. It does appear that Sean Payton, who, like I said, at one point was the strong favorite to get this job, has lost some momentum. Russell Wilson went to ownership and was like, I want Sean Payton. It appeared that ownership and Sean Payton had a lot of mutual interest. But Mark Mask, who covers the NFL for the Washington Post, tweeted this: the Panthers are no longer an option for Sean Payton after hiring Frank Reich. And there was an issue with Payton's interview with the Broncos. Payton likes the idea of coaching Russell Wilson and having that defense, but fears a potential power struggle with a member of the ownership group, source says. However, Sean Payton responded saying this: zero truth to this. We had a great visit, and Broncos ownership was fantastic. So that's something to monitor here. We'll see. I'm not ruling out Sean Payton to Denver just yet, but we're not hearing as much about Payton to Denver as we once were. We are hearing a lot about DeMeco maybe. Mike Kliss, who covers the Denver Broncos, said this: DeMeco Ryans emerges as a top Broncos head coaching candidate. So that was on Thursday that we heard that DeMeco has emerged as a favorite in Denver. Now, who are the Broncos going to hire? Go down in the comments section. Let me know. Who are the Broncos going to hire? Might end up being David Shaw from Stanford. Don't be surprised. Let's go to the Houston Texans now, who fired Lovie Smith on January 8th, just a few hours after he blew them the first overall pick. They have a head coach vacancy for the third straight cycle. David Coley was fired after 1 year. Now Lovie Smith. They have the second overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. Taking a look at their interview list, Thomas Brown, the Rams tight end coach, was one of the first people to interview. Have not heard his name much since. Ejiro Evero has a second interview lined up with Houston. Jonathan Gannon, one of the favorites right now, the Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, he interviewed, but he's staying in Detroit. Mike Kafka just had his second interview the other day with Houston. Sean Payton also interviewed. DeMeco Ryans and Shane Steichen, the other candidates here in Houston. Now, Cal and Hannah McNair, who own the Houston Texans, they were at the Houston Sports Awards the other night. And here's what they said about the search. The timetable is to get the right guy. And then Hannah said this: when you rush it, you may not get the right person. When you take your time, you make sure you get the right guy. It kind of sounds like to me they might be going after DeMeco Ryans. Ian Rappaport said this: 49ers defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans has emerged as a top candidate for the Texans, sources tell me and Tom Pelissero. He's expected to meet with Houston at some point next week after the game. Of course, San Francisco plays in the NFC Championship game on Sunday. There's mutual interest, and if all goes well, he could be their next head coach. And I can tell you, Texans fans are very excited about that possibility, bringing back a franchise legend to be the head coach. It does look like it's going to come down between Houston and Denver for DeMeco Ryans. It feels like he's going to have the option to choose between those two teams. Now, Ian Rappaport went on Pat McAfee's show on Friday and was asked if he had to choose between Houston and Denver, are you confident he would take Houston? Ian Rappaport said yes. Who are the Texans going to hire to be their new head coach? Go down in the comment section. Let me know. I'll say this. DeMeco Ryans would be a home run hire for Houston, and he would get the fan base re-energized. This has been a fan base in Houston that hasn't had much to cheer for the last couple years, I guarantee you the fans would come back to NRG Stadium in Houston if they hire a franchise legend in DeMeco Ryans, who was the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2006 when he played with the Texans. The last vacancy we're going to discuss, the Indianapolis Colts. They fired head coach Frank Reich, who now is the Panthers' new head coach. Fired him midseason. They shocked the world by bringing in Jeff Saturday, who had no coaching experience, to be the interim. He went 1-7, and they have interviewed a whopping 15 candidates. Whopping feels like a popular word now with the Burger King commercial going viral. Here are the confirmed second interviews, though. We literally don't have a graphic big enough to show you all 15. So here are the 3 confirmed second interviews. Ejiro Evero, the Broncos DC. Raheem Morris, the Rams DC. He might be due for a head coaching job. He's interviewed the last couple cycles. And then Jeff Saturday, the interim head coach with the Colts. Jordan Schultz saying this. Sources. Jim Irsay's number 1 choice for head coach remains Jeff Saturday, while others in the Colts front office prefer different leading candidates. I wonder why. Saturday, I'm told, presented his staff choices during the second interview on Wednesday. Irsay has not sat in on most interviews. That's interesting. So Jim Irsay kind of feels like he's all in on Jeff Saturday. He's not even sitting in maybe on some of these interviews. Here's some other names to watch. DeMeco has not interviewed for this job yet, but the Colts want to interview him after Sunday's game. However, he might have already taken the job in Houston by Monday morning based on the way this is trending. Bubba Ventrone, the special teams coach, a lot of people thought he should have been the interim head coach. Great young coach. Rich Bisaccia, you think the Raiders regret not promoting him last year or what? I mean, he should have gotten that job in Vegas last year. Don Martingale, Wink Martingale, most people know him, the defense coordinator in New York, great coach. And then Brian Callahan, the offense coordinator in Cincinnati. They've all interviewed. Who will the Colts hire? Go down in the comments section. Let me know. I think it's going to be Jeff Saturday, but we will have to wait and see. Subscribe to the channel. We'll continue to keep you posted on all of these coaching searches.